All right. My new iPad is here. I'm so excited. Oops, you can see where I am right now. I've got my new iPad. This is not the new iPad. This is the old iPad, and I'm still using it. If you look real closely, I don't know if it's even apparent on this one. I've got some dead pixels and some screen burn, especially around the edges of the screen. Down here at the bottom, you see this orange line. And I've got other problems with it, but I'm really happy with my iPad, and oh, there's my dead pixels right here. You see this little, it almost looks like a little spray of dust or something that's on the screen protector, but those are actually dead pixels. This looks like a little constellation of stars right here, right over here. But a bunch of stuff is happening all at once for me, and so I'm going to be inking the cover of the next 9 Volt. This had gotten to somebody else that wasn't able to finish it, and so that's kind of the reason it's late. But I always like to, I don't know, spread the joy out. If you can't do a whole comic, you could do maybe a cover. So I'm going to be doing this cover at this point, and it's cool. And then also, I'm going to be doing some art for Troll Zine. I've already been in one Troll Zine. This will be another Troll Zine. And then there was something else that was going on. What else is going on? Oh, well, I've got ongoing. I've still got Tarot Quest to do. Delver is fine. Like I'm clear on Delver. One thing I'm not finished with is today on Cartoonist Kayfabe, and I know that due to the recent tragic events, but I'm not going to say that those events were accidental. I think they were just malicious events that took place. We no longer have Cartoonist Kayfabe, but there are a couple of unaired episodes that they did, and one today it was about bootleg toys, but actually one of the zines that they showed was done with Riso printing, and then they stopped, and near the end of the show they had a whole talk about the risograph printing method, and the zines. One of which is called Epoxy. I'm going to try and see if I can pick up one of those. If you haven't noticed, I finished the first panel. I was looking over at some of my older stuff, and and not even that old, like Prometheus Powers era, which is just a few months ago. And I'm seeing all the mistakes in it and how I would have done it differently. And I guess you could take that as, you could have your cringe moments, but it's kind of that's like the proof that you're improving. When you start to notice your own errors. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to improve. I'm looking at this layer too, and there's so many like extra pencil lines I just need to get rid of. They'll all be gone, of course, but they're screwing up my understanding of the page. I've got to get the monster to be consistent from panel to panel. It's meant to be it's based on a marine iguana from Galapagos, but it's supposed to be like a desert burrowing lizard also. It comes out of the ocean, the desert is like an ocean almost, and they swim in the sand. Here it is coming up out of the sand. I think one thing I could do is reference. There it is, right there. Just to make sure that they match up. Like, for example, you can see that the eye doesn't match up. Now, my problem on Trollzine is I'm way too late. It's like I started like the place to hang out for that is over at Vinar Vin's Troll Bridge. And I used to go there a lot, and then I just stopped hanging out there for whatever reason. Can't remember what I was getting into. And Ken St. Andre and Steve Crompton. Steve Crompton, another comic creator. I never really thought of him as a comic creator, but he's totally a comic creator. A lot. You know, he did a lot of comics, actually. Have been announcing a lot of new stuff. So if you want to know what Steve Crompton is mostly famous for, I would say it's Demi the Demoness, which is basically pornography. Like if you thought Zap Comics had some pretty explicit stuff, like turn that up and you'll get Demi the Demoness. But anyways, they have a Kickstarter for Monsters. And you know what? I'm gonna reduce this side a little bit. And I know this is the neckline, but I'm gonna give him, he's got more of this under chin. If you ever seen an iguana, like a pet iguana, they always have that. Under their chin. Take a look without it. So tons of stuff. And having gotten the new iPad, I want to set that up. It's still in the box. It's right here. It's behind me. There it is, and it hasn't been opened yet or anything. I will be opening that up and checking it out pretty soon. One of the missing pieces, I think, for how I want to do comics going forward is I really want to do zines, but I don't know, I'm not convinced yet, at least 100%, that I want to deal with printing. So you can outsource printing pretty easily, like Mixam can do printing for you, or Lulu, or somewhere else. Doesn't really matter who does your printing. Or if you wanted to, you could figure out a way to do things digitally. I think digitally might also be the way to go. There's plenty of things that I get digitally because I know it'll cost less. There won't be any shipping involved. It is what it is. All right, I'm focusing on all the wrong details just yet. These are digging claws. And then turning around. Looks like I can get a basic shot of Rabbit Fighter here. I'm not loving my outlines. Well, anyways. The new iPad is about twice as big as the old one as far as the memory. And has the new chip in it and everything. New cameras and everything. So that may change a lot of things going forward for me. Well, there's hoping anyways. Rabbit Fighter's also wearing his sword and sandals toga. I've been thinking about maybe embracing a more cartoony aesthetic, or at least leaning into it. You know, I've already got a kind of a cartoony aesthetic. You can see once my scratchy pencil lines go away, it does clean up a lot nicer. It isn't where it needs to be just yet. Right. He's got his sword. Where is the sword? He's left-handed. Let me take a look at the previous page. Yeah, sword is in the left hand. I'm liking my gradients here. So I'm going to put it on its own layer just for now. I think that's too much. This is why I put it on its own layer, so I could erase with impunity. You might be curious about why it bulges out like that. This is the I think I've exaggerated it a bit, but it's meant to be a Xiphos or a leaf blade sword. Or a leaf blade gladius, as they're sometimes called. Well, I've almost got it, but not quite. What we can do is just take it and move it. Okay. All right. It's behind his ears. Oh, that's wrong. The sword is what's missing, is what should be behind his ears. Alright. I do some dumb things sometimes. Alright. That looks right, right? Sword's behind him. This doesn't look right, but we can fix it. Alright, let's get the legs. If it's not perfect, I know that I'll get flack for this, but I think it's okay. You just gotta keep going, recognize, fix what you can. You know, you're only as good as you really are. So storytelling matters, and then eventually you start to recognize where you're screwing up and you start to fix it as you're going in. So your art is always your own art, your pace is your own pace. And yeah, it does take a while to figure out. Alright. I'm gonna do some Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew style sandals here. All right, boom. And that's our beginning. Now, here's where it gets complicated. Let's bring back our reference image. I'm just going to draw for about another minute or so on camera, and then we're going to continue on off camera. Actually, I'm going to go and set that other computer up, and then we're going to get working on that thing for Troll World, because I've got a much shorter deadline. I started going back to Troll Bridge like just a couple of days ago, and I saw the thread where they're pulling together the new issue of Trollzine, and the deadline is actually Friday. So he did say he would hold it for a couple of days for me. I have driving Saturday. On Saturday, I can totally get something done on Saturday. I said, if you hold it till Sunday, I'll get you something by Saturday afternoon. And they actually they had a couple of options, like as far as art assignments, or I could just do whatever I wanted to come up with, which I might do. If I could do two things, I would love to do two things. All right, so there is kind of a little shoulder piece. It's kind of a little over the shoulder bit that goes right here. And there's definitely a dorsal these dorsal rails that go down his back. If you've ever seen an iguana in real life, they actually do have these little dorsal scales that go down. Now, it's working pretty well, but I think it needs to look... He needs to be looking back behind him, you know? All right. I think we're close on. We passed the 20-minute mark. Okay. Oh, pretty cool. Class starts tomorrow, by the way. Also, I've got like 9 things happening all at once. So this is the classroom for the next class, and everyone's saying hello. Cool. I haven't said hello yet, but I will. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There will be more comics every day, more art every day. Keep drawing, keep drawing. And I will install... I probably will install Adobe Fresco on the new iPad. I think it's definitely going on there. And we're going to be doing some new stuff. So, talk to you later.